Hey guys, it's Millie Camille. How are you guys all doing today? Go ahead and comment down below to let me know. Oh, I should do that again because I like move my coffee and oh well. Well, yeah, you know what? We're gonna go ahead and do this again. I hope you guys can't see everything. My little setup. I'm gonna take a quick picture so you guys all know. Let's see. Posting it on Twitter. If you guys don't follow me already on Twitter, go ahead and I think it's gonna be in the corner. Maybe not in the corner. Maybe down below. Down below would be my Twitter. Unless you go on my page. Anyways, I blibber blabber too much. Today's video, I couldn't decide what I wanted to do. I know that I wanted to record a video. I'm trying to build up my recording. So that way, like, I have backup videos just in case anything happens, so on and so forth. So, today, I am going to be doing a video on I'm gonna do it on my testimony, my salvation. If you guys don't already know that I'm very heavily into my faith, and I just want to share my testimony. I know it's very personal, but I also think that's something that I want to share and that is really heavy on my heart. So it starts when I was very young. I had anxiety and I had really bad depression, and that's gonna be like a whole separate video that I really want to touch on, is about all those things, and like coming to the point where I don't take any of the medication for it. Every now and then I do have anxiety. I've been having it like this week was a very stressful week at work. That's like a whole nother video in itself that I'm not legally allowed to talk about. Yes, so some days are bad days and some days are most of the days are good. So I'm not saying like, oh my gosh, I'm perfect. I think this video is turning into my anxiety video. But I also was born with a heart murmur, which is a tiny hole in my heart, and it causes me to have an irregular heartbeat. So with the irregular heartbeat, and top of that with anxiety makes your blood and your heart pound faster, and because of the anxiety of the beating heart faster, I begin to have really bad chest pains. I promise you all of this has a meaning. All of this has it's just all gonna connect. And when I was 15 years old, I snuck home. I snuck to stay home. My family knew that I stayed home. I told them I wasn't feeling good, and they knew I was having a hard time with anxiety and really bad time with depression and stuff like that. And my family went off. My mom and dad and my brother went to school. My mom and dad went to work, and something just like a big depression just sat in, and I told myself that was the day I was gonna commit suicide. And sorry, this is why I didn't wear makeup. I was 15 years old, I didn't have to worry about paying bills. I didn't have to worry about, just 15-year-old stuff. And I'm not saying that because you have those moments, but it is a real mental illness, and I have to tell you, that's the enemy lying to you. And this is where I didn't see that it was God. I just thought it was my sister had a psychic power. It was her, my cousin, I call her my sister, she was some reason off that day, and she was over at my uncle's house visiting, and she just wanted to come over, but nobody knows I'm home. Nobody. And Crystal, which is my cousin / I call her my sister, is her name, and she came banging on the door, banging on my front door. And she's like screaming, I know Camille, and Camille, I know you're in there. I know you're in there. Open up the door. Like, you need to open this door right now and all that stuff. And I was just like, I didn't answer. I was like, no, like, I'm gonna pretend that I'm not here, you know, because like, I'm gonna do this, you know. And she jumped my fence and she came over and she was like, what are you doing? She's like, no, let's go. Let's get out of this house. Let's go get lunch. Let's go do something today. You ditched school. Let's go. Like, like me, I was like, oh my God, she's going to lecture me about missing school and all that stuff. But in reality, like, what caused her? What caused her to be like, Camille's home, like, let's go get her. You know what I mean? Like, it could have been like my mom called her and been like, hey, but I didn't express anything to my mom or my dad yet. You know what I mean? I didn't tell them, you know, that was what I was going to be doing that day. And like, maybe my mom called her and was like, hey, Camille's at home, get her out of the house or something. But in the end, like, she could have just said like, oh no, I'm busy today, you know. But instead she came, you know. And I see that as like, even though I wasn't a believer at the time, that was God's hand, you know. God has so much more for you. God has so much more over your life, you know. And of course I was like, well, it's just lucky, you know, and that was just luck, you know. And I hate to break it to you guys, I'm Irish. It's the luck of the Irish. That's all we said. That's all we ever say in my family. But it's not luck. There's no luck, you know. It was all God, you know. God knows what he has planned for my life, and that was too soon, and he knew where I was going, and I didn't recognize that. And I sit here sometimes and think, and I thank God and stay thankful, because if I were to do that, I would not be going to heaven. You know, I would have gone to hell. I would have gone to a much worse place. So fast forward a year, maybe 2 years. Yeah, we'll say 2 years, because I was 17. I was about to turn 18. It's almost like 3 years. 3 years later. That same year I met my husband. Like 7 months later, maybe not even 7 months later, I met my husband. And I would have like never known him, I would have never been with him, never would have gotten married, you know what I mean? Like, just all those things would have never happened if I decided to make that decision that day, you know. And it always gets better. It always gets better. What I always like say is like, once you hit rock bottom, the only way to go is up top. And I don't know, like, it sticks to me, and I want that to stick to you. Like, if you feel like you hit rock bottom, the only way you can go is top. Just go up. There's the only way you can go. You can't go any further. You're at the bottom. The only way up. That's the only way, you know. And so my husband, he's like, he believes in God, and I would make fun of him, and I would be like, oh yeah, you believe in God, whatever. Mind you, God already saved me, you know. Not like physically, like I accepted Jesus into my heart yet, but so my dad actually got saved at work, out of nowhere. This was January 2017. Okay, one of his coworkers came up to him and it was like, Eddie, I really feel like you need to get saved, you know. And my dad, he's not a believer. He wasn't a believer at the time. My dad's like, yeah, whatever, you know, okay. He's such a nice guy. He was like, yeah, okay. He's like, can we go do the salvation prayer? And my dad's like, well, we're in the middle of work, after work, meet me after work. And dad's like, oh, okay, yeah, you know, my dad, he's such a pushover. And he was like, so the whole day he was trying to like quickly get out of there, so he like to avoid him and all that stuff, like, oh my God, this guy's crazy. So then he, finally, like, the guy was like, hey, Eddie, come on, you promised, you know. So that's like, I don't want to share my dad's salvation part. Like, I feel like that's something maybe I should get him on the channel to share, because it is really touching. And but I'll just like brief over it, just because it is like gonna be a pretty lengthy video. So my meaning is to say, my dad got saved, and he went in as like a whatever, okay, whatever, I'll just get this done over with and I'll just do this little prayer. But he felt something. He felt his spirit come alive, you know. And so he came home and he was like on fire for God, on fire. And he's like, the God is real, like we all need to go to church, like I want you guys to get saved, y'all need to like da this and that. And he's like, and me, I'm like, yeah, Dad, whatever, you know, it's just a phase, it's just a kick he's going on, like whatever. When he'll say God is real today, and tomorrow he'll be like, F God, you know what I mean? Like, and so like I was just like, okay, whatever, it's just a phase. Couple months go by, something really dramatic happens in our family, and one of his friends at work invited him to go to a Bible study. And so my dad was like, yeah, I want to go. So he started going to the Bible study, and then he invited me and my husband to go to the Bible study, not knowing that it's a men's group. So I went to this men's group for like 3 weeks, not 3 months, so it's being dramatic. And they did a salvation prayer for me, but I have to say, I have to be honest, like that salvation prayer was not honest in my heart, you know, and I wasn't like quite there. And so I went for a couple weeks and I was like, yeah, Dad, like this isn't for me, like I don't want to do this. That same week that I told my dad, I was like, yeah, this isn't gonna work for me. We were watching a show, Ghost Adventures. It was our favorite show. We would all sit down Friday night together, pop some popcorn, and watch the latest and greatest Ghost Adventures. And we were sitting on the couch. My dad fell asleep. He always falls asleep. He always never fails. So we're just like trying to put the volume up more so we cannot listen to him snore and all that stuff. And all of a sudden, I just get a really, really sharp chest pain. And like, it was worse. I wasn't even having anxiety. I was doing something that I love. I love just to sit there on the couch with my family and watch a movie. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm having like really bad chest pain. I can't breathe. And then my husband, his nose starts bleeding. And it's like gushing. No one touched his nose. Like his nose is very sensitive. Like if you like barely like tap it like that, his nose starts bleeding. He broke his nose during wrestling. That's like a whole separate story. But anyways, no one touched his nose. He didn't touch his nose, but his nose just starts gushing. So I'm like, okay, I'll breathe this out. This is normal. I normally go through this. I'm normally really good at breathing this out. I'm like, we're just gonna sit here and chill on the couch. Like, it's okay. And like, I was like, you clean up your face. For 45 minutes, I'm having this chest pain. Johan's nose is still bleeding. Gushing. It's still gushing. You know, and that's not good. So finally, and the whole, like, I hate to say it, but the whole 45 minutes, something deep down in my heart kept saying, you need to go to church. There's a church like right by my house. So like on my way to the hospital, we would go past the church, okay? So the whole time something's telling me, just go to the church, your pain will release. Your pain will release as soon as you go to church. Your pain will it'll stop as soon, excuse my brother. He he's just something. He's just playing his video games. He swears. And so I just, you know, I fought it. I was like, no, why would I go to church? Like, God's not real, you know. Church is not going to do anything for me. So finally, we wake up my dad after having this amount of pain for 45 minutes, and I'm like, I can't do it. We need to go to the hospital. Like, this isn't, like, it's getting worse. I can't do this. Like, I can just sit here and breathe it through, but I can't breathe this through. Like, it's not working. And so we all got in the car. My dad's panicking. He thinks I'm dying. And my dad's dramatic. You know, and me, I'm like, I'm the one in pain, so he's the one that should be talking me through it, but I'm talking him through it, like, Dad, it's okay, it's gonna be okay. Like, but that's just my dad, though. You know, he's the sweetest thing. But so we get in the car. Johan's nose is still bleeding. My brother is. Landon! Not my cat, not the cat. Great. I just can't get anybody, like, to shut up for like 15 minutes. Like, that's it. Like, I'm sorry, Kim, can you edit that? Where was I? Okay.
Wow, it smells like vinegar.
Anyways, so we get. Glennon, shut up.
It smells like vinegar.
Okay, well, like, suffer quietly. So we then get in the car. We're about to drive, like, we're driving, and my dad takes them a little bit of a different way than normal. He went past the church. Sorry. He went past the church. Normally we take a different street, and like I was kind of like thrown off, and I was like, why are you going this way? And the moment he passed the church was the moment my pain released. Johan's nose stopped bleeding, and I told Dad, I was like, Dad, you need to pull over. And he's like, why? And I was like, pull over, my pain's gone. And to think that I was stubborn for 45 minutes when the whole time it's like, you need to go to church, you need to go to church. And, you know, and I'm like, no, whatever, don't need to go to church, like, still not a believer, what's God got for me? And the pain just stopped, and it was just like a heaviness, and then it released. And at the time, I did not have the Bible app on my phone. I know it sounds really weird, but a Bible verse popped up, and I'm so sad that I can't remember for the life of me what the Bible verse was. But it was something like entrust in God with all your faith. It was something around that. Don't get at me down below, like, you know what I mean. And my dad got a Bible verse that popped up on his phone, and my husband's phone as well, like all three at the same time. And of course my neighbors are loud. And so it was just like a moment where I was like, wow, like, God is real, you know. He spoke to me, he saved me, even like before I believed into him, you know. And I'm guilty of making fun of those who believed in God, you know. And like, it's really hard, you know. And I love to share my salvation story because that very Sunday after that, we went to church and I gave my life to Christ. And ever since that moment, I've just been worshiping and praising and serving the Lord, you know. Every Sunday I'm serving God and laying my life down for others so they can receive him, receive his gift. And, you know, I can never be I'm so grateful for all that he's done, every little thing. And when you get saved, you get to see like all those little things where God saved you. God saved you here before you were even saved and believed in God. But God loves you so much that he gave his one and only son so you could be right there in heaven with him. And he loves you so much that even when you don't believe in him, he's still right there with you. So today, if you're not fully saved and not fully given your life to God and accepted Jesus as your savior, I hate to do this on my channel, but like, I really think you should go. You really should. You should. There's a reason why you clicked on this video. There's a reason why you're watching this video. God has a plan for you, and if you're suffering from anxiety and depression, God takes that from you because Jesus took that on the cross so we wouldn't have to. I know this is a very heavy video, guys, but I felt very led to just do this video today. I've had a really rough couple days at work. Today, I'm going into work again, and I'm kind of like really very overwhelmed by it, and you know, but God can get me through all things. No matter how these situations come out, at the end of the day, I have God. And anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, don't forget to like the video and go ahead and comment down below. Let me hear your testimonies. How did you guys get saved? And if you're not saved yet, like, what's taking you away from that, you know? But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I don't know, I'd never say that, but I wanted to say it, okay? I'm a cool YouTuber. Anyways, guys, like I always say, friends never say goodbye. They simply say see you next time, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. God bless, guys.